Good afternoon. Welcome back to Near Post Flick On. Yes, we're going to have a quick look at the past weekend's result, game week 33. Right. So the first action was between Brentford and Brighton. Brentford winning the game 4-2. That match really was a game of nothingness, to be honest. I think Brighton had more to lose, to be fair. Brentford's currently laying 11th in the league at the moment. So yeah, you could argue that they might be looking to qualify for a Europa League spot, but I think at this point it's really out of their hands. So yeah, that's a game of nothingness, to be honest. Brighton, yeah, maybe, but they would have to hope other results went their way. But at this stage of the season, I can't really see that happening. The next game was between Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. Again, Bournemouth, they're just on the cusp of that Europa League spot, but it's very, very competitive. You still got Villa there and Chelsea, and we know they're competing for top four, so it's going to be very, very difficult, I'd say, for Bournemouth to break into Europe. But if they did it'll be a massive achievement for the club and the players as well as the manager. That game ended goalless, so that's 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. We'll move over to Everton against Man City. Of course, yes, Man City still chasing that top four finish. Um, it's been well documented the type of season Manchester City have had. They've got a lot of rebuilding to do, I believe. And will they be able to do it for next season? I don't know. Currently, I think Liverpool are the side to beat. Even with Van Dijk signing that new contract as well, I think they are definitely the side to beat. And Salah and Van Dijk being at Liverpool next year only makes Liverpool that much stronger. So will City be rebuilt and ready for next year to mount a serious challenge? Well, only time will tell. But definitely, they're still in contention for that top four finish. Goals from O'Reilly and Kovacic, and again they left that late as well. So credit to Everton. Of course, yeah, they lost the game, but they tried to hang on as best as they could. But you know, Man City found a deadlock, and they did what they had to do to keep themselves still in contention for the top four finish. So they're currently lying fifth in the league at the moment. Moving on to West Ham. West Ham drew 1-1 with Southampton. Again, we've documented that Southampton are done. They're finished. Championship football beckons for them next year. All they're doing now at the moment is maybe just a farewell Premier League tour, to be honest. They're just in a farewell Premier League tour because all those games don't really mean anything because it's done and dusted. I mean, they've got 11 points on the board, and that's not going to do any. That's not going to change, is it? In 5 games. So yeah, West Ham drawing that game again. West Ham, as I say, if this was a couple of seasons ago, 36 points wouldn't be enough for safety, but because Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich have been so poor, so shockingly poor this season, 36 points is enough to guarantee safety. So West Ham will be in the league next year for sure. And I'm sure they'll be looking to regroup and hopefully give a better account next year. But we wait and see how that goes. Moving on to the evening game on the Saturday between Aston Villa and Newcastle. Newcastle lost 4-1, so Villa absolutely demolishing their competition, if you like. So I think currently Newcastle are still fourth in the league on 59 points, and you've got Villa who are seventh in the league on 57 points. So that game was a must-win for Villa. That game was a must-win for Villa, and they've got a lot riding on that. And as I said before, we'd love to see Villa again in the Champions League. I think they've been amazing, very entertaining side. Emery's done fantastically well. So they battered Newcastle 4-1. For Newcastle fans, don't be disheartened. You are still in it. You're on 59 points, and you're fourth in the league at the moment, so you are still in it. It's not all is not doom and gloom just yet. You're still in it. But I think between now and the end of the season, you have to win your games. You have to pick up some points. You have to win your games because I think the game between Man City and Aston Villa, which is taking place tonight, That's going to be very telling as well, because if Villa beat City, they're right bang in it. That will put them on 60 points. So that would knock Newcastle back into fifth. So I think the best case scenario for Newcastle in respect of that game, or irrespective of that game, would be a draw between Man City and Aston Villa, as I say, which is taking place tonight. Highly likely Aston Villa will probably win that game, because I think they're the better informed side, to be honest. So, moving on to the Sunday results, we had Fulham and Chelsea in the West London derby, and again that was a smash and grab from Chelsea. Neto getting the winner in that game, 2-1. And Chelsea, again, they are still in contention. I mean, it's very, very close. I mean, the top four finish is very, very close. You've got four teams here, four very, very good teams that are competing. And it's just literally a point or two between all of them. And anything can change at this stage of the season. So, Chelsea fans, hang on to your seats. You're still in there. Yeah, you just got to win your games. You've got to win your games. So, Chelsea beat Fulham away 2-1. Moving on to the Gooners, Arsenal, who were away to Ipswich. Arsenal winning that game 4-0. We didn't really expect anything less. I mean, they've had a fantastic climax to this stage of the season. Um, After that wonderful result against Real Madrid. So the confidence is going to be through the roof. And Arsenal doing what they know they can do, which is play some good, entertaining football. Arsenal winning against Ipswich 4-0. And then we've got Manchester United, who were at home to Wolves. Now, if you're a United fan, you may want to hide your face if you don't already know what the result is. So Man United lost to Wolves. Man United lost to Wolves 1-0 at Old Trafford. Now, that you could argue that's a shocking result. I mean, that is a very, very, very poor result. I think Manchester United have had just as bad a season as Tottenham. And I think the disparity between Tottenham and Manchester United is that maybe Tottenham have lost more games, and in the fashion that Tottenham have lost their games has been disgusting. However, you can't really separate the two clubs. They've just had an atrocious season, to be fair. I think Man United have lost 15 games this season, as opposed to Spurs' 18 games. Now, if you had said to me 10, 20 years ago that Man United would be languishing in 14th place in the Premier League, I would have said, you know what, you're having a laugh. That's never going to happen. But here we are. Here we are. Man United losing to Wolves 1-0. I wonder how the United fans feel, and I'm sure Neville and Keane would have had a lot to say about United's current form. And then moving on to the evening game on Sunday, Easter Sunday. So Liverpool winning 1-0 against Leicester. And ironically, Trent scored. Trent scored. Yep, he ripped his shirt open, took off his shirt, ran around. Does that mean he's going to stay at Liverpool? I do not think so. I don't think so. So, he gave it the theatrics, ran around with his shirt, tapping on his chest and all of that. But will he be there next season? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Or then again, maybe he might feel, um, maybe he might feel since Salah and Van Dijk have signed, maybe he might be influenced by them and say, you know what, actually I want to be at this club. But I can't really see that happening. But yeah, so he's got on the score sheet, he scored for his club. It's a nice gift for the Liverpool fans. And yeah, they are champions elect. So it's just a matter of time as to when, we'll do the guard of honor for Liverpool. And that will probably be at Spurs if other results go accordingly. And moving on to Monday Night Football, Spurs, Nottingham Forest. Spurs again with a shocking defeat to Nottingham Forest, 2-1. Yes, Tottenham had a better second half and they created a lot of chances and they did this and they did that and they attacked well. But guess what? 2-1. That's what matters. It's the result that matters. And Tottenham lost again for the 18th time this season, 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. We've done a video on this, so check that out if you like. Yeah, so I think Spurs, just like Man United, will be desperate for the season to be over so they can regroup and rebuild and hopefully go at it again next season. But of course, they have still got the Europa Cup to think about, as has Man United. And I think that's the only thing both teams are really playing for, because as far as the league's concerned, they're done. They had an awful season. Will Ange be there next year? We don't know, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, and that's pretty much the roundup. So let's see how the Man City and the Aston Villa game goes. And please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.